So, hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Turn 5 podcast. This week we're talking about the big news coming from Formula One, as well as the races that we didn't speak about the past 2 weeks from Formula 2 and Formula 3, as well as previewing the Australian Grand Prix. But that comes at the end. Big news! We have a new circuit.
Insert DJ Khaled, another one.
Yes, we're going for another night race, this time in Las Vegas. Discuss.
So they moved it forward to Saturday so that it wasn't a Monday morning for everyone.
Pretty much.
I feel like we're getting into dangerous territory now with the amount of street circuits that Formula One are adding. And for me, it now poses the question of how many is too many street circuits. Because technically Albert Park's a street circuit.
Yeah.
So that means we've got Australia, Baku, Monaco,
to call
Miami.
Monaco a circuit is Monaco's a car park.
It goes round, therefore circuit.
Yeah, a car park also goes round.
Yeah.
Therefore,
to be
circuit.
fair, the Miami race is it's a literal car park.
The Las Vegas one used to be a literal car park.
Yeah. But not anymore, but we'll come to that. Anyway, Richard, you were saying? Australia, Baku,
Monaco,
Canada technically,
yeah.
Singapore. I'm surprised Chris hadn't brought that up.
And what's the point in having these circuits that are literally designed for racing if we're just going to go to some city centre?
Because they're not up to FIA regulations.
There's loads of them are.
Yeah. The ones we want to go to are.
Exactly.
But they don't see that, do they?
It's not like we've done the research and made a dream calendar episode or anything.
Yeah, I mean, where would you rather go? Las Vegas or Sochi?
Malaysia.
Hockenheim.
Those weren't the options.
We made them the options because we're the fans and we give the fans what they want.
I don't care. I do what I want, much like Formula One.
Much like Michael Massey.
No, he acted with his best intentions. Read the report.
No.
See, if you don't read the report, you're just refusing to accept the facts.
I have read the report. I read it the minute it came out.
Oh, salty Hamilton fan, desperate for answers that won't change anything.
I just wanted to see what they said.
Here's the world's smallest violin, and it's playing a little sad tune for you.
Bear in mind, that report could be construed as a steward document, and I read all of those.
Yeah, but shame.
Anyway. We were discussing Las Vegas.
Yeah, I don't know how well it's going to be. In terms of the circuit looks it looks like there's maybe 2 overtaking opportunities. And building a circuit that's good for racing is hard enough when you have a blank canvas. But when you're then trying to build it around existing infrastructure, it becomes at least 10 times harder.
Yeah.
So,
which is why the Las Vegas circuit is like a square.
Yeah. That's because America is mostly based on squares.
Yeah.
So, well, I'll say that California ignored that memo.
True.
But it's just, well, what's I'm slightly worried about the direction that Formula One is going in. If all we're going to add to the calendar is more street circuits and more Middle Eastern circuits that don't actually exist yet. Because that's the thing, Doha, well, it's just Doha as they've added it. Qatar's contract is for a race in Doha, but we don't know if it's going to be an actual circuit or Doha City Centre. And if it's Doha City Centre, well, that's another street race. So, and Vietnam was going to be a street race. So,
Cancelled.
yeah, but like, look at all of the circuits they've added in the new circuits they've added in recent times without taking into effect the COVID cancellation swap around debacle.
Yeah.
All of the new circuits have been just street circuits. Imola's the exception to that, but that started because of COVID, and then it got a new contract.
The circuit we were supposed to go to in Russia from next year, I believe, isn't a street circuit.
No, but we don't.
But we're not going
much
there
like
anymore.
Disney doesn't talk about Bruno, we don't talk about Russia.
But yeah, that's one circuit out of however many.
Yeah. And you look at the recent history of circuit unveilings, it's street circuit, street circuit, street circuit, street circuit. And it's just, I know building a proper circuit takes time and money and whatever, but there are existing circuits that we can use in the meantime. Circuits that might need a little bit of tweaking here and there, barrier upgrades or whatever, just to bring it back up to spec. But that won't take as long as building a new circuit. And then while you're racing around the other circuit, build the new circuit. Give yourself a bit of time. Don't just ad hoc throw in a 10-year contract to Miami.
Now, the problem the Las Vegas race does give us, though, if we're aiming for 23 race calendar again in 2023, we now have 24 races.
What's gonna get dropped?
Saudi Arabia can get dropped.
Bye, Monaco.
We both know
you've
neither
had
of
your
them are
fun,
going to be
now
dropped.
It's time to go.
Neither of them will be dropped. We both know that.
I can dream, Harold.
That's a very niche reference.
Yeah, but you got it. So
I did. I did.
Alex Jakes thinks he can make niche references. I one-up him. Nicheness +3.
Niche +3. Dear me. But yeah, sorry, I said we were up to 24 races. We're not actually. We're up to 25 because China's due to come back next year as well. We need to find 2 circuits.
We have
drop.
Saudi Arabia and Monaco Go-Go.
And neither of them will be
if
dropped.
they want to keep Monaco, then
make it better.
Buy Abu Dhabi.
The thing that worries me is we might actually just get a 25 race season.
That'd be awkward.
We would literally be racing once every 2 weeks.
Yeah. Oh God. So much for off season.
Yeah, there would be no testing. The season would just have to start.
Well, no, because we've got a number of double and triple headers.
Yeah,
so
suppose, yeah. I think I think just patch the off season, start in January, run till December, race every 2 weeks.
Yeah, but where's warm enough to race in January?
At the least.
They were complaining it was too cold when they went testing there this year.
Australia.
That'll be too hot.
Brazil.
Probably storm season, I guess.
I mean, to be fair, we raced there in November. I don't think an extra 2 months is going to...
Oh, you'd be surprised. It's like half a season.
We'll break out the Pirelli snow tyres and race in Germany.
Yeah, everyone knows that only Red Bull have access to those.
No, I think if I remember rightly, Pirelli took the ice tyres to Hockenheim in 2020.
I think so, yeah.
Just in case. That would have been quite the experience, seeing cars driving about on literal studded tyres to maintain grip. God knows what the lap times would have been.
I dread to think what the race circuit would look like afterwards.
Yeah, true. But yeah, so that could be interesting, having a 25 race calendar. That's before they announce any more races. This is Formula One we're talking about.
Well, wait, have you included Qatar in that? Because their
Yeah.
contract, okay, good, because their contract starts next year.
Technically started last year with a break this year for the World Cup.
No, because that was just an emergency fill-in. Their 10-year contract starts 2023.
Because they took 2022 off for the World Cup.
Yeah, but it means they've got 11 years of races, not just 10. It's not like we've only got 9 left. We've still got all 10 of their contract left. That was the thing. They signed 2 contracts. It was a 1-year emergency, let's fill in contract, and also a 10-year contract from 23 onwards.
And then we're also... That's why the season's finishing early this year, actually. It's because of the FIFA World Cup.
Hooray.
They're like, oh, we don't want to go up against football. We just finish early. It's going to be a long winter.
That's ironic, considering our last conversation. What off-season? This off-season.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's enough about the calendar. Let's talk about the actual Las Vegas circuit now. It's supposed to be one of the quickest on the calendar, if not the quickest, because they just decided to put in corners for about 2.5 kilometers.
Okay, well, China did the same.
True. True. Admittedly, it will look great racing up the strip. That's exactly what that section of track is.
Go past the Eiffel Tower.
Yep. Into
the world's fastest world tour.
Into what looks like a car park.
That's probably the old circuit.
Yeah. Past the globe for some reason.
Why not? It's a
Vegas.
world tour.
Yeah, it's a world tour.
Yeah, it's Vegas. And then back round to...
Why are all of their buildings Y-shaped?
Why not?
Why not?
But why?
Oh no, that one's a T. There's an X.
Okay, so they're playing Tetris and or PlayStation.
Yeah, they've seen what PlayStation and Xbox have done, and therefore we merge that together.
Throw a little Nintendo in there as well.
Yeah, and then they just lobbed in the Eiffel Tower for,
and a globe.
Why not?
The Eiffel Tower.
Yeah.
Do we think the racing will be okay?
No.
It's going to be one hell of a DRS zone.
Oh, yeah. I want to see a full 2-kilometer DRS zone. Because, holy smokes, the third lap is going to be someone in third dropping all the way down to 17th. And I am here for that. Because that is going to be hilarious. Someone in
first dropping all the way down to like 18th.
True. I'm just hoping that whoever's in first has actually just pulled out a second gap.
Yeah. Safety car restarts as well will be chaos.
That famous saying of safety cars breed safety cars.
Mugello.
Ah, dear. Or more recently, Saudi Arabia Formula 2.
Yeah, but we'll come to that in a moment. We're about to move on to that. What else? That's about it for Las Vegas, I think. It's being held at night on a Saturday US time, Sunday for us.
4 a.m. Woo!
I mean, to be fair, Japan's held at 4 a.m. our time as well.
Yeah, but Japan's a proper circuit.
True. You're not wrong.
And the fans are amazing.
Also true.
I just want to know how they
Oh no,
make those
Japan starts at
hats.
6 a.m. our time.
Oh,
this
look at
year.
that. That's beautiful. That's the same as Australia. We can manage that.
Yeah,
We have managed that.
we have the technology.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on.
Sure.
Formula 3 had a run out in Bahrain and lots of track limits penalties.
Yeah.
Lots.
Not ideal.
No, they weren't very good at keeping on the circuit, to be fair.
No. But
They're actually currently in Jerez with a 2-day test over the next couple of days.
yes.
And other Formula 3 news just before we go on to the races in Bahrain. Johnny Edgar has halted his Formula 3 championship season due to health reasons, and Oliver Rasmussen is taking over the Trident car. That is the news.
That name rings a bell.
Yeah, Rasmussen raced
Yeah.
in Formula 3 last year, I believe.
That'd be why. There's too many drivers.
There is also a Rasmussen called in F1 Esports.
Mm.
That
Is it
might
the
also
same
be what
person?
I've heard of.
I don't know if it is the same person or not. I
It
have
might be
no
the same
idea.
person.
F1 Esports. Rasmussen. Oh god, I
I
hit
want to say it's
F11.
Kevin. In F1
Kevin
Esports.
Magnussen.
Not Kevin.
No, he
he's had a slight
raced in
career
FIA
change.
Formula 3 last year.
It's Frederick
Frederick.
Rasmussen.
Yeah.
Are they related?
Bloody Frederick. It's in their DNA.
Who knows? But yeah, so Rasmussen's going from the World Endurance Championship to FIA Formula 3 for the season. Anyway, back to Bahrain. As we were saying, there were many track limit violations over the weekend.
Yeah. I suppose, in a way, they haven't got the advantage that the new Formula One cars have got of being able to follow without losing all of their downforce.
Yeah, true.
So, but still.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Yeah.
To be fair, there's always a lot of penalties in the junior categories, but this was
next level.
Yeah. So, in the sprint race, cars 28, 6, and 14. So, that is 28 is Enzo Trulli, 14 is Laszlo Toth, and 6 is Ollie Behrman. All got second penalties for track limits.
Yeah, which cost Ollie Behrman the win.
The race win. Car 21, Hunter Yenny, got a 15-second time penalty for track limits.
Yeah, he just kept doing it.
Yeah, he got a 5-second penalty and then did it again. So look, have a 10. And also, you don't need to pit in a sprint race, so that just gets served at the end of the race.
Yeah.
There was also offences for dangerous driving in the sprint race, causing a collision.
It's just first race of the season, yeah, a little bit rusty.
Yeah. So in the first race of the season, Nico Carey took the checkered flag, missed the pit entry to the support race paddock, and then drove up the track in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
5 place grid penalty.
Awkward.
That's
I think
Easily done.
It's kind of harsh considering the distance it was. because he hadn't gone that far past it.
Yeah, but he still went the wrong way.
But yeah.
50 meters,
Yeah.
but still, he went the wrong way up the circuit. The stewards consider this to be very dangerous.
50 meters. Yeah.
So he got 2 penalty points.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Their favourite number.
Yeah. Gregor Saucy also got a 3-place grid penalty for the feature race for walloping his teammate out of the race. He's not having
Nice.
as good a run in it as
Frecker?
Frecker.
Give him time.
Yeah, he's still there.
Yeah, he's still up there. He's doing all right. He got a podium in the feature.
Yeah.
But by this point, he'd won 2 races in Frecker, I think.
Yeah, he's
Took 2
league of
pole
his own
positions.
in Frecker, though, wasn't he?
Yeah. He's dominated that field.
Yeah. Still, he's 4th in the championship, so
Yeah.
Good start for his rookie season, F3.
yeah. And speaking of F3, their next race is in Imola. And the week before that race goes out, we've got the commentator coming on as a guest.
We do. I was going to save that for later, but Richard's announced now.
I booked him. I'm announcing it. My scalp.
We have the lead commentator from FIA Formula 3 joining us in 2 weeks' time. So please do tune in that week.
And send in your questions.
Yeah, let us know what you want us to ask. Be that about Formula 3, support races in general, how you got started in motorsport, anything really. We'll ask it all. Terms and conditions apply.
I was just about to say that. Oh my god. But looking at the championship for Formula 3, Arthur Leclerc is the highest placed driver to score points in both races, and is only 1 point behind Victor Martin, who scored 25 for his win
in the feature.
I mean, 25 and 24, close for the first round, I guess. You know, it takes a little while to settle out, but at the same time, there isn't that many races.
No, there's not.
We've got what, 9? Yeah, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I can count. It's 9.
Yeah. Which does mean we have 18 races when you think about it.
Yeah, 9 rounds, 18 races. But so I think by the time we get to sort of just after Silverstone, we should sort of have a rough idea of where the pecking order's at.
Yeah.
Obviously, things will be very much subject to change because it's Formula 3 and it doesn't take much to completely tank your weekend.
At least it's not as bad as last year, where, say, you get spun around by your opponent on lap 1 of sprint 1.
Yeah.
And then you're just going to be circling at the back for 2 races.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that was not ideal.
Yeah, the format's a lot better for both sport races this year.
I mean, yeah, they've just went back to the old format.
Yeah.
Sensible.
I found it really funny when they were introducing it. It was like, yeah, we've got a new format for this year. No, you don't.
It's the old format. Yeah, well,
the old new format.
At least they were trying something. I have no problem with them trying things, but at the same time, I'm very glad that they pretty much have openly admitted that it didn't work.
Yeah.
And then reverted. So fine, try stuff.
Yeah.
If it works, accept it by all means. If it doesn't, do what the support series have done and go back to the drawing table. I'm sure we'll probably see a revision of the format change in some near future. But obviously it won't be quite what we just had. Because they'll want to update it. We've had this format for a little while now. I say a little while. It's basically since they changed the name, and even before that, it was much the same. So,
I reckon they should just pick the drivers from a hat that's at the grid. Enjoy the sprint race.
Full field reverse instead of top 12. Give everyone a chance.
Not even top 12, it's top 10, is it not?
12 for Formula 3, 10 for Formula 2.
Yeah.
Because of the different size of field.
Yeah, there's 30 cars in the Formula 3 grid as opposed to 22 in Formula 2.
Yes, indeed.
Indeed. So, the classification, we'll just run through the top 10. The point scorers.
I'm through the top
sprint race.
30.
Like
No,
I'll be here all day.
Okay. So the top 10 of the sprint race in Bahrain was Hajar, Berman, Smollier, Maloney, Leclerc, Sullivan, Collette, Frederick, Correa, and David Vidalis. Feature race time. More track limit penalties. You'd think they'd have learned from the sprint.
You can take the track out of the circuit, but you can't take the track limits out of the race.
You'd think they would have learned after the sprint.
No.
No, apparently not.
No. Why would they?
And this one was a bit spicier for causing a collision because we had 4 drivers be penalised for causing a collision and 2 drivers be penalised for track limits.
Oh.
So, cars 22 and 29, that is... 29 is Franco Colapinto, who did finish on the podium, and then they went, no.
2 is Roman Stanek.
And it's 22.
Oh, 22.
Yes.
Josep
Maria
Maria
Marti. Also got a 5-second penalty for track limits, which demoted them from 11th to 13th, so not the end of the world, really.
Fringes of the points.
Yeah. However, cars 11, 28, 21, and 11 again.
Oh my god, no.
Got 10-second time penalties, with car 21 getting a 5. So
Smollier,
11, which is Smollier, got a 20-second time penalty. 21.
Hunter Yaney again.
Hunter Yaney got a 5. And 28
is Trulli
got a 10. Trulli finished 111 seconds back from the race lead.
Yikes.
Oof. He didn't have a good feature.
No. But I mean, if you were going to look at it like that, then let's talk about Hunter Yaney and getting track limit penalties in both races.
Yeah. Well, no, it was causing a collision in the second race. He kept it in the white lines. He just hit someone else.
I went outside. Now you go outside. Oh god, still not ideal.
To be fair, it is just typical Formula 3.
Yeah. There's always a little bit of bumper cars.
With such a congested field, that's always going to happen.
Yeah.
30 cars built almost identically. Yeah. Is what it is. But
it is what it is.
Good racing when they weren't crashing into each other. And as we say, the top 10 in the drivers' standings is now Martin, Leclerc, Berman, Saucy, Correa, Colapinto, Hajar, Smollier, Zane Maloney, and Jack Crawford. That's the top 10. Drivers up to 15 scored points, so half the grid has scored points. That's good.
Not bad for the first round.
Yeah. That's better than Formula 1. I think.
Driver standings. Actually, the top
Formula
14.
better. Yeah.
Oh, the pain. Mick Schumacher, the highest placed driver to not score points.
Yeah, Ricardo's 19th.
It'd be 20th after this weekend.
It's
Could
fine. We're
be,
going
yeah.
down under. That's basically top of the league, right?
Yeah, come on.
No.
Nicholas Latifi, world champ.
No one's against it.
Nicholas Latifi decides who's going to be world champion. It won't be him.
He says he can be, so I believe him.
No. Nicholas Latifi crashes to decide what happens in a race.
Or does he just crash to help Verstappen?
Now, that is an interesting take that I have not heard.
But you see, when
Get the tinfoil hats on, boys. We're going in.
We're going into F1 Twitter again,
Yeah.
boys.
the TV's crashed, and on these two occasions that I'm thinking of in my head, or there's probably multiple other times the TV's crashed, and it's not helped Max one bit. But
These two times.
these two times,
The two most recent occurrences.
yeah, conspiracy. I think not.
I think you mean coincidence, I think not.
Yeah, but
He's just declared
conspiracy
it
as
wasn't
well.
a conspiracy. Anyway, before Ben goes further down,
making up random.
make up random conspiracies, let's talk about Formula 2.
We've had 2 rounds of Formula 2, though.
We have.
Well,
The 2
four
races.
4 races.
That's a Will Buxton impression there. In 2 rounds of F2.
There are
Yeah,
4 races.
4 races.
If you finish first in Formula 2,
Mm.
you win the race.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Or to quote Kimmy, whoa.
Whoa. We'll need to remember not to do jokes like that in like 2 weeks. Got like Will's colleague on. When you finish first, you win the race.
Look, the amount of cliches the drivers throw out.
Yeah.
Like, the amount of times I've heard, to finish first you have to finish.
Whoa.
It's like, well, it's fair game now.
Yeah, I suppose. And that's also factually untrue if you look at the F1 game. If you take everyone out and then crash yourself, you still win the race. Facts.
Yeah, Haas should have took notes from that last year.
And they can give you all the time penalties they want. Everyone else retired.
Speaking of Haas, I just want to... Have you heard the Günther Steiner?
Yes, I have.
He definitely said hugged. Because we all know what Günther's like.
Yes.
Serial hugger.
I think I preferred Günther posing for Aldi, though.
The Steiner ship.
Anyway, Formula 2.
Sorry, yeah, tangent.
We've had 4 rounds of FIA Formula 2. 2 at each race weekend. Starting
Whoa!
in Bahrain. Richard Verschoor won the first race of the season in the sprint. So, like Formula 3, there was a few penalties.
When isn't there?
Yeah. 2 drivers picked up 10-second time penalties for causing a collision. So most likely accompanied with everyone's favourite 2 penalty points.
You say most likely. I want confirmation.
Okay, I'll check. And 1 driver penalised for track limits. That's car 4, Marino Sato. It did not affect his weekend at all. He dropped 1 position from 15th to 16th.
Oh,
You say
huge.
that didn't affect anything. If he gets 15th, you say I finished in the top 15. Now he
Can't
says
say
I
that.
finished in the top 16. No
It's
one,
not the same.
No one cares about that.
And he is actually 16th in the standings.
Oh.
So,
Yeah, but who's 15th?
Callum Williams.
Oh, that's who benefited. Oh dear.
Yeah, but Callum Williams has got 4 points more.
Ah. Fair. So yeah, Marino Sato picked up a 5-second time penalty for track limits. Clement Novalak and Jake Hughes both picked up 10-second time penalties for causing a collision. And the top 10 in that race was Verschoor, Deruvela, Lawson, Boschong, Drogovic, Sargent, Vips, Iwasa, Hauger, and Doohan. But what I really want to focus on is the feature race. Because for whatever reason, teams forgot how to do pit stops.
Oh my God, yeah.
How does that happen twice at the same time?
Well,
Literally
I mean,
on the same lap.
Okay, it was odd that it happened on the same wheel for two teams. But, you know, when you say, how did teams forget to do a pit stop? I mean, just take a look at Mercedes. When that's like what they're looking up to, and you see Germany 2019, or you see Sakir outer loop, you know,
In fairness, though,
consistent
at least,
mistakes.
You could
at
also
least Mercedes put all 4 tyres on the car.
Yeah, but they weren't for the right driver.
Yeah, in Bahrain they might have been the wrong tyres, but at least they were on the car.
And then when they did come in and fix it, one of them wasn't quite working.
You could also look at Haas in
Australia.
2018 and 2019.
Insert Gunter Steiner, we look like a bunch of...
Yeah.
Everyone knows that one.
Back
They
then,
do.
Drive to Survive was good.
Yeah.
Facts. George Russell. Facts.
It's probably because the grid was more entertaining 3 years ago.
True. But it wasn't just the pit crews who had a mare in Bahrain. One driver sped in the pit lane twice.
Mint.
One driver picked up 4 track limits violations, so that was a 5-second time penalty. One driver caused a collision. 2 drivers had an unsafe pit release. One driver exceeded track limits 6 times and was also out of position at safety car line 1 on the formation lap, and also failed to carry out their time penalty correctly, and also had an unsafe pit release.
Basically, penalties on penalties on penalties.
Yes, that driver was Ollie Caldwell. So yeah, Ollie Caldwell didn't have a good weekend of the stewards.
Understatement.
Despite all those penalties, though, only has 2 penalty points.
FIA seal of approval, 2 penalty points. Oh, I love it.
Despite the fact that he picked up something like 40 seconds worth of time penalties.
2 penalty points.
Top notch
penalty points. So after all of those penalties were applied, which rather surprisingly all were served, we had no penalties added on post-race in the classification. The race finished Drogovic, Verschoor, Deruvela, Hughes, Armstrong, Hauger, Iwasa, Nassani, Doohan, Vips.
Good old Yuri Vips. He's always there or thereabouts, isn't he?
Yeah. He seems to be perpetually in Formula 2 as well.
No, that's Jan Deruvela.
Also true.
He just never leaves.
Helmut obviously isn't pleased with them the two Red Bull juniors.
What is it?
Not displeased enough to sack them, just displeased enough to leave them.
Yeah.
Yeah, a Wasawad. Is it? If that's, I know that's probably not how you say it, but
Wassa?
he
Yeah,
had
that's
a
what comms say.
mental ass charge during the race.
Oh, yeah. He went from something like last to first.
Yep.
Yeah. Although
Sadly
he
didn't
did still have
win.
to pit, but
Yeah.
Still
It was in first, led a few laps.
yeah.
can lay claim to that fact.
Exactly. Good on
I
him.
started last and I was first at some stage.
Yeah.
The stage didn't happen to be the point that counted, but it was at some stage.
It was like at the start of the midpoint of the season when last year they were, Max Verstappen has led so many laps. It's like, okay, but he didn't win the race.
That's because he crashed out.
Lewis crashed him out. Conspiracy hat
wins
on.
again.
Then we went to Saudi Arabia after Bahrain, obviously. We had a clean start.
How?
How, I don't know.
That was the thing. We made it in the sprint race the record for the furthest before a safety car, and that was one whole lap.
Didn't they then set a new record in the feature, though?
Probably.
I think they went quite far in the feature before there was a safety car, if I remember correctly.
And then it was just carnage. And the pit lane got
Or-
closed. And
Was there not a race that there was no safety car intervention?
No, there was definitely safety car. Because Hauger got the whole pit lane issue thingamabob.
Which race was that, though?
That was feature race.
I could have sworn there was a race that we didn't have a safety car.
I'm pretty sure there's safety car in both.
It's
To be fair, it is
F2 and it's Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
Name a more iconic duo. Formula One and Singapore. And
Yeah.
safety
FIA
car.
and 2 penalty points.
Bono and My Tyres Are Gone. Or his new favourite this year, No Grip on This Tyre.
Or, no, to be fair, at one point it was Bono, these tyres are okay.
Visible confusion. What do we do? What do we do? He said the tyres are good. What does this mean?
Box, 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 box.
Yep.
Anyway, so yeah, evidently there was a race with... Sorry, there was both races with safety cars. Ah, well. I can dream that one day we will have a clean race in Saudi Arabia.
Nope.
I think for
Maybe-
that to happen, you'd have to have one car in the race, and that's it.
No, because
Maybe at the
Nicholas
new
Latifi
circuit?
has proved,
Mm,
even if it's just one car on their own,
he'll crash.
the wall.
Yeah, but that's if it's the if put like I don't know, like Fernando Alonso.
Well, he won't make it to the end of the race because his engine will give up.
GP2 engine, GP2.
How's that GP2 engine doing now, Fernando? Race wins.
In fairness, at the time it was
Yeah.
GP2.
Yeah, it was awful.
Yeah.
Now it's just the Renault one. Top banter.
Anyway, back to the support categories. I guess the main thing to talk about from both weekends, we did touch on this during our Saudi Arabia review, is the safety car chaos with the pit lane during the feature. So, who was it? Was that in the lead again? Oops.
I can't remember his name now.
Who finished last?
I'm looking at the list, and even now I can't think who. Oh, Dennis Hauger. It was Hauger.
So Dennis Hauger was out in the lead. Safety car deployed. It comes up on the timing pages. Safety car through the pit lane. Then it comes up. Pit lane entry closed. So according to Prima, they got on the radio and be like, "Hello, Mr. Race Director. Are we coming through the pit lane or are we not?" And Mr. Race Director goes, "Yes." And so Dennis Hauger comes into the pits, and literally no one else does. Dennis Hauger ends up in last.
Well,
And
he was in
also
11th, but then he got a penalty for entering the pit lane when it was closed, which seemed like the ultimate kick in the teeth, considering he'd already lost the race lead.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Honestly, kudos, because if that was me and I got that penalty, I'd have just parked in the pit lane, got out and gone home.
That could possibly have led to a black flag and a race ban.
I'd have already gone home. Black flag me all you like. I'm in my trailer.
The FIA would not be pleased. Race ban.
Oh no, we somehow managed to also find a mechanical fault at the exact point when I retired the car. Prove me wrong.
Okay.
Yeah.
There was
There's been
no
a failure
radio.
with the stewards.
Also in that race,
Just surreptitiously stall it as you tried to leave the pit lane.
yeah, also
Anti-stall.
also in the sprint, Jake Hughes got disqualified for a technical non-conformity, so just the standard penalty. The car doesn't meet the technical regulations. Bye. That's a shame for him.
Ouch.
Yeah. So after all the penalties and the protests and things were dealt with, the sprint race finished like this. Lawson, Vips, Hughes disqualified. Drugovich, Williams, Versure, Iwasa, Daruvala, Sato, Nastani, Fittipaldi, with 4 cars doing the DNF. Because Formula 2. The feature was a bit calmer. Everyone behaved themselves much more than they did in the sprint. There was far less penalties and no disqualifications. And so that finished Drugovich, for sure, Daruvala, Hughes, Armstrong, Hauger, Iwasa, Nastani doing Vips. Anything anyone wants to pick up on the support categories?
It's a strong field for F2.
Definitely.
So, in much the same way that a couple of years ago, I think it was the year that Callum Eilert was in F2, his last year in F2 rather. That was a very strong field, and sort of like
so
any of the top 5. Yeah, any of the top 5 really had points where they deserved to win the title, and it just came down to consistency.
Except for Nikita Mazepin.
Well, okay, yeah, he's the obvious exception to that. But we don't talk about Russia and his charitable foundation.
We race as one.
Yeah, so I think any of the top 5 are probably the candidates for the championship. Just from either previous experience in lower formula or just their general form as it's been.
I guess we should say the top 5 is this. Drugovich, Lawson, Versure, Vips, Pourchaire.
Yeah.
Daruvala is also tied with Pourchaire, and Armstrong's only 5 points back. So the top 7 even.
Yeah, but, you know, Daruvala's been there too long. He's not going to win it.
Yeah.
I changed my mind.
Impossible.
Exactly. That is the correct answer.
Jehan Daruvala in Formula 2, I am inevitable.
I am eternal.
He's a 10th or 2 off, isn't he, really? Poor guy.
You know that Photoshop that Nico Hulkenberg shared of Hulkenberg subs in for Fittipaldi Jr. for the 2057 Moon GP? It's going to be that, but Formula 2 and Jehan Daruvala.
just permanently.
Yeah.
It would be really funny if he just goes on like the win streak of his life now.
I don't want to have to eat my words. Australia?
Australia, yes. New track layout, 4 DRS zones,
Carnage.
Is that a
but
new
only
record?
2 DRS detection points.
That has to be a new record, surely. Most DRS zones in a track.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Most we saw before is 3. Least we saw is 1.
Mhm.
Shout out to Monaco, which really could have 2.
Mugello only had one, didn't it?
Yeah.
The fact that Monaco even has one is debatable.
I mean, at least Mugello only really has space for 1.
I don't want to use DRS through the tunnel.
Just remove the chicane at the end of it.
I
Straight.
don't want to use DRS going into Tabac at 210 miles an hour.
Funny.
Instant pancake.
That's why they have brakes.
I'm gonna refer you back to Charles Leclerc in his
Insert
maiden
understeer.
Monaco Grand Prix and his
Bro.
brake failure and the back of Brendan Williams's car.
Charles Leclerc and Monaco don't have good vibes.
No. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
Will he at least finish?
That will be our
Place your bets.
that will be our bingo for that
Yeah.
race week. Will
Charles
Leclerc finish the race?
If not, when will he DNF?
Surely we've got to get some decent odds on that now. If we went to the bookies, Leclerc to finish the Monaco
Oh,
Grand Prix.
Yeah, I think he'd still be a higher odds of DNF in that. Because it would be so absurd that he DNFs in his, like, 5th race there, 4th, because of COVID.
What?
Because he did 2 in Sauber and he's done 1 in Ferrari, right?
There's 2018 Sauber. 2019 was Ferrari.
Oh, yeah. 1 Sauber, 2
didn't
Ferrari.
happen.
Yeah.
I'm not able to look yet. It's just the Australian Grand Prix that's available.
Damn it.
But there's so many things you can bet on in Formula One. Oh my God.
Is there one option for when we hear team radio of Lewis Hamilton complaining about his tyres?
No.
Damn it!
Is there one of a driver getting 2 penalty points?
No.
Odds 1 to 1.
Yeah, Formula One bookies are mad. Anyway, Australia, Richard, predictions, go.
Nia has sent in her podium and pole prediction. So pole, Charles Leclerc. Podium of Verstappen, Leclerc, Ricardo. Oh.
Nia's putting that bet on at the bookie.
Yeah. I have gone for Verstappen pole, Verstappen Leclerc Sainz podium, and Sonia
It's
has
the
gone.
new Hamverbot.
Yeah. And Sonia has gone for Leclerc pole, Leclerc Verstappen Sainz podium.
Ben, what are you going for?
Yeah, I've also gone for Leclerc pole, Verstappen, Leclerc Sainz.
I'm going the chair for pole, and Leclerc, Sainz, Verstappen.
Sergio Perez enters the chat.
Um,
Bold prediction, Chris, go.
bold. 2 safety cars.
Just 2 safety cars.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, at least 2 safety cars.
Okay, that's more like it.
Ben,
No safety car.
Whoa!
that is bold.
Have that.
See, when you say no safety car,
I mean,
we need
no,
to seek clarification.
no
full
safety
safety car or no
No.
safety car at all.
as in there can be a VSC, but no
So
car
no
on
full
track.
safety car. Okay.
I'm going to go for something a little different just because we've got the new layout.
Okay.
The lap record will be broken by at least 6 seconds.
No, I'm not having that because they say the lap is going to be at least 5 to 6 seconds faster. You're literally just going by what they say.
The lap record was set in 2004.
Oh, true. Okay, fine. I'll allow it.
I'd allow it if they also put round the Ferrari from 2004 on the same track and see how fast that goes.
No, please don't.
They do enjoy running classic cars in Australia. They might do it.
Please, no. Lapo bingo. Chris?
What are the things again?
Which driver, what lap, how many laps?
Latifi,
And there are 58 laps.
23, DNF.
Whoa! Okay. How many laps down will he be when he DNFs? Just one?
1, yeah.
Okay. You know, it could be 2. He could just be that slow. Ben?
I have gone for Sebastian Vettel,
Ooh.
lap 23, 2 laps down.
I am going to go for Yuki Tsunoda.
He's had an absolute stinker.
Purely because of the amount of mechanical gremlins he's had in that car. Not because of his pace, just because I think the car's going to give up on him.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to say 21 and 1 lap down.
Right. The others?
Nia has said Latifi 25 and 2, which I think is her new Old Faithful. As for social media predictions for the podiums, we have got St. North, who has gone for Sainz Leclerc Verstappen. Kenzo, who has gone for Leclerc on pole and a podium of Leclerc, Verstappen, and Sainz. And KR45 going 4 DRS zones.
Yes, KR45, 4 DRS zones.
That's it for this week.
Anything else?
I don't think so.
I don't believe so either.
What lap will Hamilton moan about his tyres?
Oh, yes. Nia has said lap 10.
This is not a new segment.
Yes, it is.
Oh.
Can I say after his first pit stop on lap?
Okay. How many laps after his first pit stop?
4 corners.
4 corners after first pit stop. Okay.
I'll go lap 15.
Lap 15. Thank you for joining in. Because he's complained whenever he was on the hard tyre, and he started on the hard tyre in Saudi Arabia, but he got pitted onto the hard tyre in Bahrain. So assuming it's going to be another 2-stop race, 58 laps, 40% of those will be done on the hardest compound, which means 30% of the race in 5 to 15. So I'm going to go for lap 17. The return of the pseudo maths.
So you assuming he starts on the hards again?
No, I'm assuming he gets pitted onto the hards after one stint on the mediums.
And then immediately complains.
Yes.
Okay. Fair enough. That wraps up this week's episode of the Turn 5 podcast. We'll see you next week when all of our very tired selves try and review the Australian Grand Prix.
What are we talking about? It's 6 a.m. on a Sunday and we record on a Monday evening.
Bold of you
We
to assume I'll be recovered by then.
36 hours after the Australian Grand Prix is finished.
Bold of you to assume I'll be recovered. Very
If you can't
bold.
recover in 36 hours, then it's shameful.
Just do
I've
what I
also
did
worked.
today and not get out of bed until 6 p.m.
To be fair, because of Mania, last night I got
That's
out of bed
WrestleMania, not the medical condition mania, for anyone mildly
Yeah.
concerned by that statement.
because of WrestleMania, I didn't get out of bed until about 1, so that's fair. And it's Raw after
I mean, that's-
WrestleMania tonight.
Close it off.
So before Richard passes away, we're going to wrap up this week's episode there. We'll see you all next week. Have a good day. Ta-ra.
Bye.